Welcome back to Corner Brook, Newfoundland, aboard Arabella. On this week's episode, with Robin back in the States for work for a couple of weeks, it was the perfect time to work on her birthday present. A few winter accessories that should help keep her warm on the boat and out on the slopes. But first, there was a little project on the to-do list for the diesel heater.
We've been running the Dickinson more and more as the days get colder here, and I've been super happy with this thing. It's been a great setup. One issue that we have had when we run it for a really long time is right here. So you can see how our deck fitting comes in and it has to be crimped. And just a little bit of smoke gets out of these little grooves here. Just ever so tiny little bit. And what happens by the end of the winter, the overhead here is kind of sooty and needs to be cleaned. And you can tell that things are drying out, because look at that check. All the way back to the door aid. The checks are no big deal. The house is cedar and it's fiberglass on the outside. So this appeared the other winter when we used the wood stove a lot, and it closed up over the summer, and I suspect it's going to do the same this year. But I've been wanting to get something to fill in these little gaps. And I was at the hardware store recently and I was looking around their wood stove section and I found this silicone sealant. It's clear, and this is the big one. 450 degrees Fahrenheit is its max temperature. I believe it said 400 is its sustained. Yeah, can be used for extended periods at temperatures up to 204 Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit, and for shorter periods as high as 450. So I put some of this stuff above deck. I'm 100% positive that was not getting to 400 degrees, but I'm not so sure about the stovepipe. The heater's been running all night. It's toasty warm in here, so let's get an idea of what temps we're working with. I got an infrared heat gun here. Okay, so we definitely can't put it against the glass. What about up here? Oh wow, all right. So we could, in theory, put this sealant all the way down pretty much to the stove. It says it can run 400 for extended times. What are we at the elbow here? Oh, brilliant. That's less than I thought it was going to be. Oh yeah, that's nothing. Perfect. I certainly can't put silicone on a piping hot stovepipe. So let's turn this off. I have some errands to run. We'll let all this cool off. And I think we can seal this up. That should do it. We'll let that cure and we'll fire the stove back up. This is the only joint that didn't fit super well. The rest of the joints are all manufactured from Dickinson, so they're crimped really nicely and they fit together very snugly. So I think this is really the only spot that anything was leaking out. I'm interested to see how big those cracks get this winter. They still seem to be growing. It's funny how in life sometimes things happen. Something happens and something else happens, and then you end up doing something that you never really imagined you would be doing. And this is one of those instances. When Robin and I went up to do the northern and long range traverse, we got a hotel the night before, And Robin was really busy with all of her employees and clients, making sure that her business was in okay shape for her to go off grid for the week. And I was wandering around town and checking out some stores. And one of them had a bunch of leather and fur goods that were made by the First Nation people of Canada here, so the indigenous folks from Newfoundland. And they had beaver fur mitts, which are beaver fur, and they go over your hand and your arm. They are super, super warm, commonly used by mushers, dog sledders up north. And I was looking at those, I was like, man, Robin would love these for this winter. Her hands get cold sometimes, and they're like furnaces. Those gloves are amazing. But they're pretty expensive, which understandably they kind of should be. So I wasn't willing to spend that much money and pull the trigger on that. We did a long range traverse, the Northern Traverse. We got back and we had a fan stop by and they gifted us this seal skin, which is something I had not really encountered. They're pretty protected in a lot of the places we've been, but I guess not so much here in Northern Canada. And they do have a season where they harvest seals in their furs. So they dropped this off and thought that it would make a great rug in Arabella for the winter, and they were absolutely right. I trimmed it down and it fits really nicely underneath the settee, and it's been helping keep our toes warm. So first was seeing the beaver mitts, second was getting gifted the seal skin. And when I trimmed the seal skin, I ended up with a bunch of offcuts. And I was like, what am I gonna do with these? And then Robin has a conference. She's gone right now for the next 2 weeks. She's in Washington, DC, and then is gonna visit family. So I have 2 weeks without Robin around, and it kind of hit me like a light bulb that I should pick up the materials and I should make Robin and I beaver mitts. And while I was at it, I would see about making her a pair of slippers. So that's what this mission is. I'm calling it Mission Warm Robin, and I'm trying to keep her nice and toasty this winter, and we'll see how good my sewing skills are. I'm kind of psyched. This is the first time in a very long time I've had a project that isn't nautical boat related, that isn't working with wood. So I'm kind of psyched for this one. It took me 2 full days to design and make these slippers for Robin. I didn't film it. I did take a bunch of pictures, which Ben can put in here. I started with one of Robin's boots here, and this is about what I wanted for the slipper, something that would come up over the ankle and would keep her foot really warm, but something that wouldn't be super confining. And I took some paper bag here and used this to generate my pattern, kind of like if you were to spile a plank on a boat. So I wrapped that around and trimmed. Another piece for the sole, and then kind of a flap to go over the top. And then I took this paper and I made a little heavier patterns. So some cardboard to make the tongue out of, and then this would be doubled. So I'm go around and meet at the tip, and around and meet at the tip. Cardboard was just easier to trace out. I traced all that out, and these are all doubled up leather. So I used heavy duty contact cement. So the sole is 2 layers that are glued together. And then the sides here is the moose leather on the outside. And it's so fuzzy, I don't even know if we can get to the inside. But the inside is beaver. So I glued the beaver to the moose leather, made it double the thickness, and then cut out my precise shapes. And then for the top and the tongue here, this is where I used some of that leftover seal skin, which I think looks really cool. And same deal, I glued beaver to the seal. So the seal's on the outside, beaver's on the inside. And I picked up some foam insoles to put in the bottom. And then stitched everything together and put a giant ridiculous coyote ruff around it. So these things are like furnaces. Like I can just put my foot in it. Robin's feet are a little bit smaller than mine, so I think they'll fit her fairly well. And I can only have them on for like a few minutes before my feet start sweating. These are so insanely warm. So I really hope that she likes them. These are the first pair of shoes that I've ever tried to make, and I'm pretty impressed. They came out, I think, even better than I had really dared hope for. I think they've got like a little bit of funkiness to them that Robin will like, and hopefully these will keep her ice packs of feet warm. She calls them her ice packs, her feet. In the boat, the sole gets pretty chilly and the overhead gets pretty warm. I mean, we're down in the water. There's not that much insulation. It's kind of how things go. So these should make a big difference. This is what I got for supplies. So this is moose leather. And this is a byproduct of moose hunting season. So people harvest a moose. They are very large animals, so a lot of people take it to a processor. And the processor will then take the hide, sell it to a tannery, and we have moose leather. And I ordered, there's just one here, but 2 beaver and 2 coyote. And the plan is to use the beaver in Robin's slippers and the mitts, and use the coyote as the ruff on the slippers and maybe the mitt, and maybe use the coyote for the back of the mitts. But I figured between the 2 beaver and the 2 coyote and the moose leather and the leftover seal, that would give me more than enough to work with. And I realize that some people might be a little upset about us using fur, but I will say that nature does it best. I mean, we can't really get warmer and better than this. And you know, the down jacket I wear all the time, that is duck and goose down. And even if we go to something that's fully synthetic, you know, there's still the collecting of oil and the refining of that. You know, this doesn't really go away. If we were to leave our beaver mitts in the woods, they would just go right back to nature and they would disappear. So there are pros and cons, and there are costs associated with everything that we do. So I am perfectly comfortable using some beaver and some coyote and supporting some local folks in rural areas here in Canada, and that's part of how they make their living. So here are our raw materials. These are my patterns for the mitts. So this one will be the back of the mitt, and I think we'll do that in coyote. This one doesn't matter which side we cut it on. It's symmetrical, reversible. That one's real easy. This one will get sewn to it like that, and this one across the top. And that's what'll make our glove. So this one will be the inside of your fingers, the inside of your thumb, and we'll make that out of leather since, you know, it's where you're gripping and using. This one here will be your forearm and the outside of your thumb. I think we'll do that out of beaver and keep that the shorter fur on your thumb and forearm. And then this big one across the back, I think we'll do out of the coyote. Since having the longer fur on the back of your hand and arm, I think will be less obtrusive than having it on the bottom. This one doesn't matter which way we cut it out. It's symmetrical. This one matters a lot, otherwise we're going to end up with the fur on the wrong side. So I got to make sure I make 2 lefts and 2 rights. And if I double up the moose leather, this one doesn't matter either. We can flip them over as we need. So just got to be real careful on that one. I used this heavy duty contact cement when I glued up the leather for the slippers, and it seemed to work quite well. So I'm going to use this for the gloves as well. It's super simple. I just open it up. I'm going to glue smooth side to smooth side and spread it all out. And then you need to wait 15-20 minutes or so until the glue is all dry. And then put it together and rub it out, and the two surfaces, when they meet, they adhere, and then you can use it immediately. So I'm gonna go take this outside to do, because this stuff is stinky. It says low VOC, but it says to use in a well ventilated area, and it is poisonous and flammable. Definitely something we don't want to be doing inside the boat. That contact cement needs to dry for at least 15 minutes, but can go up to an hour. So we got plenty of time. Now let's cut out our beaver. So this is the pattern for the beaver, and this is the one we need to be really careful about getting right and left. So let's see, that goes like that. This beaver will become the palm. So that'll flip like that. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're pretty much missing all of the defects in the beaver hide, which is nice. And I want this is the nose of the beaver and the tail of the beaver. And I want the end of the gloves, the end of the thumb, to be the forward part of the beaver, so that the fur is flowing back towards the hand. So that's why these are all oriented with what will eventually be the thumb towards what would have been the front of the beaver. Now, if you take scissors and just cut through the fur, you're gonna cut through the fur, which we don't want to do because it's all in there at an angle. So we're gonna use a sharp razor blade, and I'm gonna go through very carefully and try to just cut through the leather, but not cut into the fur. So this is a pretty delicate procedure. All right, MVP of this process, the vacuum cleaner. So we are going to want to sew this inside out. So fur in. Leather palm. All right, because the leather doesn't matter. It's same on both sides. That's what we want. These stainless steel lifetime clothespins have been awesome. I had them in Granby. I use them all the time on the boat. I highly recommend them. That looks funny. There we go. I'm not going to try to shove my hand in there, but you get the idea. Your fingers, your thumb. Okay. I'm going to find a movie to put on and sit at the settee and get to sewing. And there we have our mitt. I think that took me just about an hour, give or take. Get all the way around. And now the fun part, I turn it inside out. Or right side out. Right now it's inside out. So we're going to start with the thumb. Get that in there. Boom. And then the mitt. And there we have our mitt. So we have the beaver on the underside where it's shorter. And on your thumb, it's a doubled up leather where you're going to be grabbing things. And then the coyote on the top. Reminds me of a Muppet. So I think there's plenty of room on the inside, because the idea is that you're going to be wearing insulative layers, and you're going to be wearing gloves. And then what you want is to be able to slide these on, or what we want at least, is to be able to slide these on over everything. Yeah, that fits great. And when we have our belay parkas on, I think those will even fit in there. There's enough room in the cuffs. And these aren't my heaviest gloves, but they're close to it. You'll still be able to grab ski poles and do generic things, but these, I think these are going to be really great when we are in the dead of winter here in Newfoundland and beyond. I'm pretty psyched. I think they came out really well. All right, now we got to stitch up my pair. 2 more hours. It's not too bad. It's pretty meditative. Time goes by pretty quick. Oh man, these things are warm. My hands are already starting to sweat in here. Oh, I really hope Robin likes them.
I've been wondering what this is for a while now.
All right, so there's 5 items in here,
Okay.
and they're in layers.
Okay.
So the least exciting item is on the top,
Okay.
and I think the most exciting item is on the bottom.
All right. Are they all interconnected?
2 of them are interconnected. 1 of them is independent, but they're all along the same theme. Okay, so that's item number 1.
You made this?
Yeah,
How did you make this? Is this what I do with it?
that's a muff for
What's-
this winter.
What is the fur?
Coyote.
Wow.
So that was made out of the leftovers of the other things.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got a little belt clip on it so you can put it around your waist, or you could put it over your shoulder, and we can throw a hand warmer in there.
Uh-huh.
And then when we're like winter camping and cooking dinner and you need to have your hands in and out and you don't want to
Yeah.
be putting gloves on and off
What
or
a
whatever.
great idea. That's so perfect. It's very warm. Oh, I like it.
All right, so that's item number 1.
Okay.
And as I said, that's the least exciting, I think, of all the items.
I thought it was very exciting. Are these huge gloves?
Yeah, they're overmitts.
Wow! I can't believe you made these.
So you know your down mittens, your infernos?
Yeah.
Those will fit inside
Inside of
these.
here?
And they remind me of the Muppets.
I love them. They're so soft. Are these coyote too?
So
Did you buy a whole coyote?
I bought 2 coyote skins, and I bought 2 beaver skins, and I bought moose leather, all from Canada. So yeah, the outside is coyote.
Okay.
And then this is beaver.
Okay.
And then the leather is moose.
The moose is soft. Coyote, beaver. I love them.
And I made myself a pair of overmitts like that too.
Oh, good. We'll both have matches.
So you have matching overmitts. Now this last one is the one that I was most excited about, and this is the one that took definitely like the most work.
No freaking way. You made these? Oh my goodness, honey. Holy moly. First of all, they're beautiful. Like, I can't believe that this is your first. Okay, I can believe this was your first attempt at a boat.
These are my first attempt at shoes.
This is your first attempt at shoes, and I have to say, you rocked it. Okay, I'm putting them on. All right. Goodbye.
So there's a right and a left.
Yeah, I can tell. No,
Yeah, so that's the left one. Yeah.
Totally. Like, yeah, you did it. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love them so much. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, I'm walking. Oh, they're super cushy. What's in the sole? Did you get like memory foam or something?
So there's 2 layers of moose leather on the bottom, and then I got memory foam and soles for them.
Sorry.
And then the whole inside is lined with beaver.
Wow, these are amazing. I am so impressed. You're so talented.
And then I put some of the leftover seal from the rug in the front.
So amazing. Wow, these are incredible. I can't believe that you made me these. These are this is like probably the coolest gift I've ever gotten. I can't think of anyone ever putting this much effort into a gift for me. This is amazing.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. Don't forget to give us a like on the video, click that thumbs up button, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Information on how to support us on Patreon is in the video description. We'll see you here next Friday, where Steve continues to work down the list of tasks to get Arabella ready for winter.